a convicted murderer, a fugitive from London, and a professional gambler.
No escape now.
He spent his life mastering the art of the gamble. But his biggest bet wasn't on a card, it was on a nation. In just a few years, this outsider would become the most powerful man in France, the Controller General of Finances. Did he bring a miracle to save a bankrupt kingdom? Or was he running the world's largest pig butchering scam? This is the story of the Mississippi Bubble, the first great paper money disaster in history. Welcome to the Wealth Archive. Today we go all in with the man who invented the modern lie. But before the magic began, France was a kingdom of ghosts and debt. When Louis XIV passed away, he left behind a legacy of glory and a mountain of debt that was impossible to pay. The economy was paralyzed. Gold and silver were rare, and they were too heavy and slow to keep the nation alive. France was suffocating. The new regent, the Duke of Orleans, was desperate for a cure. He needed a financial surgeon. Instead, he got a professional gambler with a radical idea. John Law argued that money shouldn't be metal. It should be credit. It should be flow. Give me a bank, Law promised, and I will erase the king's debt with the stroke of a pen.
Observe the diagram. If credible, it shall be done.
The regent was out of options. He gave the gambler the keys to the kingdom's fortune. In 1716, the General Bank opened its doors. The era of the paper miracle had begun. Law knew something the others didn't. Money is a game of belief, and he was the master of the game. For the first time, France saw money that wasn't heavy or cold. It was light, beautiful, and abundant. At first, they were skeptical, but then they saw the magic. Paper could actually buy bread, wine, and silk. Liquidity flooded the streets. The economy, once dead, was suddenly roaring back to life. John Law was no longer a murderer. He was the savior of France. He was the wizard who turned paper into gold. He told them that gold was primitive. The future was system, a perfect machine of credit. It worked perfectly, too perfectly. People started to believe that wealth could be created out of thin air. The psychological shift was complete. Value was no longer what you had, but what you believed. But a gambler never knows when to stop. He needed a bigger prize to back his mountain of paper. He found that prize across the Atlantic, and the ultimate trap was set. To back his mountain of paper, Law created a dream, the Mississippi Company, a land of infinite gold. He promised that French Louisiana was the new El Dorado. Investors didn't see the reality, they only saw the profit. The reality? A mosquito-infested swamp. But Law was a master of marketing. He sent ships filled with settlers to sell the lie. He offered to take over the entire national debt in exchange for company shares. The government was hooked. The bait was set. The shares became the most desired paper in the world. the craze began. People sold their homes, their jewels, and their land just to get a piece of the dream. He wasn't just a gambler anymore. He was the king of a virtual empire built on belief. The center of the world was a tiny street in Paris. Rue Quincampoix became the world's first stock market riot. Space was so limited that people paid a hunchback just to use his back as a desk for signing trades. This is where the word millionaire was born. Wealth was created in minutes and lost in seconds. Servants became richer than their masters. The social order of France was being dissolved by paper. At its peak, the stock reached 20,000 livres, a 4,000% increase. It was a peak of madness no one thought would end. Law was a god, but even gods cannot print gold. The fundamental problem was simple. Law had printed far more paper than the world had gold to back it. The crack began when the elites started to doubt. The Prince de Conti demanded his shares be converted to physical gold. The bank didn't have it. The secret was out. The vault was a hollow shell. In a desperate gamble, law banned gold ownership. But you cannot force people to trust a lie. Panic turned to violence. People who were millionaires on paper became beggars in reality overnight. The magic paper was now just trash. The system that law built was collapsing under the weight of its own emptiness. The savior of France fled in the middle of the night, disguised as a commoner, leaving behind a nation in ruins. France was bankrupt again, but this time, the people had lost something more valuable than gold. They lost faith in the system. The trauma lasted for decades. The Mississippi bubble was a direct prelude to the French Revolution. Law's ghost still haunts our modern central banks. We live in a world of pure fiat, supported only by belief. From QE to cryptos, are we building real value, or are we just following a smarter gambler? Trust is the most expensive thing in the world. Don't let a system steal your labor. Subscribe to the Wealth Archive. Understand the past, protect your future,